Hello everyone, my name is Alberto, welcome back to my channel. First of all, since I keep forgetting, if you aren't, I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and put a like to the video because it's a great help for me. That said, let's go. A while ago, I published a video about how I made this giant granny square into a rectangular blanket. So here I decided to show you how, because a lot of people have asked. I basically made like a small mock-up. I'm just gonna join quickly this, let's say it's where you would be at on obviously the big blanket. So once you've joined, you have several options. Obviously the easiest one would just be to close your current work and then join a new piece of yarn or another color in case you need the color change in one of the corners where you want to extend it, and that way it's just basically attaching another piece. A second way is to basically do a sort of slip stitch around the little spaces, the bars on top. So just slip stitch around until you reach a corner, and then you start working from there. And that's sort of a small cheat, but it works pretty well because when you then go on with the other rounds and the decorative border on all sides, it basically covers all up. So that's another option. I'm pretty sure what I did, I don't remember perfectly because it was some months ago and I do a lot of projects, but I'm pretty sure what I did is this. So basically I chained two and started doing a border in single crochet in this case, but you can do double crochet, you can do half double crochet, whatever you prefer. And basically where we are now would be one of the long sides. So we do this until we reach a corner. And once that is done, we're gonna do another one in this case, just because if you remember, we did 3 chains in the corner. And then we're basically gonna start our new rows to extend the square there, which means we're going to chain and do our cluster of double crochets in the free space, and then keep going on the rest of the row like it was in the rest of the granny square. So it's exactly the same pattern. We're gonna do clusters of 3 double crochets in the spaces, and then we're gonna do a chain 2 between each cluster. A little bit of a trick here, but this depends on your case. I did 3 double crochets in the very first one on every corner. There is a chance if you're using a bulkier yarn that, for example, it will tend to open up and sort of fan out. But this, again, really depends on what you're using. If you see that that's the case, then in the sides you will do 2 double crochets instead of 3, and then do 3 as usual in the middle. And that's just to sort of get a more nice straight shape. Again, it's all trial and error, but you know, if you just do a row or 2, or even you don't even need to do a whole row to notice it, it's pretty quick. You can just take it apart, go back to where you just joined in the corner. So yeah, that's it. Basically we do the same exact pattern as before until we reach the second corner. And we are gonna do the same thing, except instead of chaining 3 and going around, we're gonna chain up and turn back. So here you can see it tends to sort of fan out a little bit. In this case, I would do 2 double crochets instead of 3, but again, you would see case by case. If it's very slightly opening, like in this case, and it's not too much, you could leave it like that because it tends to mask when you do the border all around. But as you can see, then I chained and turned back. So instead of turning the corner, I just turn back and do another round on top in the same exact way. The only sort of tricky part, and again, I kinda had to figure it out myself. I'm pretty sure there's ways to do it, but I'm not a super expert crocheter. So I just kind of played around with it, tried sort of different methods to figure out how to do what I wanted. But basically you keep the same exact pattern for the central part. The only tricky bits are the corners, because again, it can either open up and sort of lose the nice rectangular shape, or it can be a bit wavy. The waviness can be countermeasured with a nice border. In my final blanket, I did a quite thick border. I think it was 4 or 5 rounds of single crochet and half double sort of mixed. But again, you will see on yours. But yeah, it's the same. So we get to the corner. We'll have to do the exact thing. Once you are done, so once you're done, you can see how it went from a square to a rectangle, and this is the thing you would do on the actual big blanket. So from here, again as before, you can either just close it and add a new yarn, maybe because you want to do a different colored border, whatever it is, or you can just start doing your half double crochet, single crochet, whatever you chose to do for your border, maybe a scallop border, whatever decorative motif you chose. And then you would just basically do it all around to do your border. If you joined like I did, so in this case, basically just starting a border until you reach the corner, obviously you have 2 things happening. Either you reach that point and you go on top, which will create sort of a little bump, or you can attach to that point and then basically again close that piece of yarn, attach another one to the other side and keep going. If you want a super precise, nice, neat border, I would say attach a new yarn. I personally don't really mind the little bump that you get going over it, but obviously it's not a problem if you either joined a new yarn when you went into the extra rows on the sides, or if you slip stitch, because that way you just border over the slip stitch and it hides everything. So yeah, you keep going and basically that's it. I hope it makes sense. Again, I'm not a great crocheter. I kinda sorta try to figure out by myself with trial and error, but I hope it makes sense and it was useful for you. Again, some of you asked me, so hopefully this makes sense. That said, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't, leave a like to the video, that's all great helps to me, and have a great day. Bye.